Hey, what's up, y'all? Today is a great day to dive in. So let's do that. Do y'all remember Harriet the Spy? Am I too young? Am I too old? Am I right in the middle? I mean, I'm just saying. Do y'all remember Harriet the Spy? And I don't even know if you remember. It was a book, right? And then they turned it into a movie. It's been a show. It's been all these different things. So, backstory on the movie, because true story, fact, I've never read the book. So whether you have or not, on the movie, you have Harriet. She is in middle school, I believe, and she basically has a journal, right? And in her journal, she's writing how she feels about everybody. And she's doing it daily. So she's bringing her journal with her daily, and she's writing about different things that are happening around her, how it makes her feel, and what she thinks about them, right? And she carries this journal everywhere, which is why it's called Harriet the Spy, because they don't know that she's doing all that. She's just doing it and she's keeping it a secret. So she's being a spy. She's, getting intel and then writing it down. So Harriet, not thinking, she, again, middle school. So this is when your mind is still developing and all these different things. She's not thinking in her mind, okay, I'm writing this down. She's thinking, I'm writing how I feel. I'm writing what I see. And I'm writing that in my journal based off my perception. But she's carrying it around with her everywhere she goes, which is crazy because you're talking about people in the same sense. You're carrying around the proof, right? But again, middle school, mind still developing, not putting two to two together in the best way possible. She's doing what she feel like is best for her in that moment. But long story short, she ended up getting found out. They end up finding a journal and they end up finding out everything that she said about them, which she didn't really understand until she understood. How many times have you, whether it was you were learning about somebody, whether you were getting to know somebody, whether something popped up in your head or you seen something out where it made you be like, let me look into that a little bit more. Let me go and do my research on this or that person or this situation. Because at the end of the day, when you start researching a person or different things around you, in some senses it could be considered spying if the person doesn't know. But let's say the true definition of spying is, according to the dictionary, okay, so by definition, it says work for a government or other organization by secretly connecting enemies or competitors. But you know how it always had a little dots with the more information. It says it can be considered eavesdropping or snooping or surveillance or bugging and all that extra stuff. But then it says this thing, observing someone furtively. An example, the couple were spied on by reporters, keeping under surveillance. Observing, right? So spying is, when you want more information and you feel like you need to go around that person instead of asking, or go around that business instead of asking face to face, it could be considered spying, right? So I said all that to say this. There's always someone technically spying on you. If you're a kid who has parents, your parents are spying on you. They're observing you. They're observing your behavior, how you move, what you're doing. And everybody is a child of somebody, correct? Whether you're at work, you're being spied on. Are you doing your job correctly? Are you doing what it is that you need to do to make sure you get the job done? Do I need to micromanage, right? You have kids who look up to their parents to make sure, okay, is this how I'm supposed to live my life? Is this how I'm supposed to do this? Am I supposed to let this happen? Am I supposed to be okay with this? We always have somebody observing us, whether we're in school, we have a teacher who's spying on us. Are you doing your work correctly? Are you doing your work at all? Are you writing in your journal when you're supposed to be writing a paper? All those things. We don't think about it like that, but there's always someone watching us. Most importantly, God is watching us. He knows what we're doing, when we're doing it, how often we do it. And I told y'all, I be trying to hide from him from time to time. And I did. Well, I ain't gonna say I be trying at this moment. Yes, I know. I'm speaking Ebonics. I'm not saying that I'm hiding from him at this moment or have been, but back in the day, I used to hide from him because, again, you can't be mad at me if I don't know that I'm doing something wrong. Just being goofy, but that was me being childish. And when you think about Harriet the Spy, she was a child. She was moving like a child. She was holding her journal with what she was saying about them like a child. And so that's how it ended up not working out in her favor, because she didn't have all the pieces to be able to grow until she needed to be, to see that that wasn't a good idea. And even though we sit back and we want to judge people for looking into this or looking into that, if God was to talk to you right now based off the things that he's seen you do, knowing that you know you shouldn't be doing it, knowing that he told you to go a different way, knowing that he said, girl, you should have been out that relationship 2 years ago, knowing that he said, boy, why you didn't do this a long time ago like I told you to do, all these different things, right? What would he say to you if he could speak to you right now? Because he's watching you. He's spying on you. Well, I wouldn't even consider spying because it's his world. We just live in it. But he's watching you and observing you all the time. How would he feel about you at this moment? What would he say? Yes, he loves you, but what would he say? We're so quick to not pay attention to everything that's going around us. We feel like every way that we move is, oh, I'm going to move and I'm going to do what's best for me. But there's always somebody observing you. What do they see when they see you? What do your kids see when they see you? What do your teachers see or your parents see or people around you? And it's not about what they see. It's about how he sees you. How do you see you? Because how he sees you should be how you see you. And it's not always like that. And I'm speaking from firsthand experience, baby. It is not always like that. I'll be having to say, okay, God, I heard what you said, but this is where I'm at. I heard you, but I'm not there yet. I be having real live conversations with him because, yeah, no. And he'll straight check me every time. He said what he said and he meant that. So as I'm reading my Bible, I'm in Luke chapter 20. And this is around a time when the teachers of the law and the chief priests were looking for a way to arrest Jesus. Right after he told them the parable about the tenants. Starting at 20, it says, keeping a close watch on him, they sent spies who pretended to be sincere. They hoped to catch Jesus in something he said so that they might hand him over to the power and authority of the governor. So the spies questioned him, Teacher, we know that you speak and teach what is right and that you do not show particularity, but teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. Is it right for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not? He saw through their duplicity and said to them, show me a denarius, whose image and inscription are on it. Caesar's, they replied. He said to them, then give back to Caesar's what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. They were unable to trap him in what he had said there in the public, and astonished by his answer, they became silent. They sent spies to try to spy on Jesus, to try to wrap him up because they were so mad at him telling them what was right and wrong. Sometimes we do the wrong thing because of what we want. They didn't want him around because they wanted to keep living their life the way that they wanted to live their life and not be held accountable for things that they was doing. And these were chief priests and teachers of the law. Like, they're out here trying to kill our Savior, and eventually they end up doing it. But it wasn't by their will. It was by God. God knew everything. He knew when it was going to happen. He was watching because he knew what was up, which is why Jesus knew what was up. As we move about this world, we have to remember and we have to try to live the best way we possibly can, thinking all the time that somebody's watching us. I spy. Me and my kids play the game. I spy with my little eye in the car. I spy with my little eye something red. That could belong to somebody else. And me staring in their direction, they might look like what you looking at? It's one of those things, right? And you're not thinking that hard and long about it. Because when I was younger, we couldn't even point. My mom be like, don't point. Like if I'm saying I spy with my little eye and I see a red car and I point to the red car, she'll be like, don't point. Because you don't want people to feel like they're being watched, right? Because you don't want to feel like you're being watched. But all the time you are. And so you have to move about your life like you are. But you also have to be smart in your movements. Because yes, it's a given that you are being watched. But how are you going to move now that you know that? Because God is watching you. He's watching who you're becoming. He's watching who you're trying to transform to be. He's watching as you judge. He's watching as you be stubborn and he's watching all of that. So what are you going to do to be better? Yes, he sees you. But is he going to be happy with what he sees? Or is he sitting there like, okay, you know better? We do know better. So we just really have to do better. I love y'all. Be back.